Okay, so I saw the movie God's Not Dead, and it wasn't a bad movie, but I have to say the ending was terrible. I guess they couldn't put the whole, like a whole, whole debate. If you ever watch like whole debate of Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, some really good debaters, um, they would just destroy that kid. Um, but as well as Daniel Dennett and P.Z. Myers. Um, but Um, I guess they couldn't put like a whole debate because the time frame of the movie, so they had to cut it short. There were some good points in there, such as the professor was saying that, quoting Stephen Hawking, such a spontaneous creation, the universe can create itself out of nothing and will create itself out of nothing, and that's really true. In basic sense, the universe did create itself, and further um, would be Dr. Lawrence Krauss, universe come out of nothing, whether something rather than nothing. Um, because you have matter and antimatter fighting each other, and dark matter and dark energy. And the Big Bang wasn't an explosion, it was an expansion. It was basically all the molecules, gases at the time of the universe, the pre existing universe, which were the gases and molecules, were totally different than now, because it was so long ago, billions of years ago. Um, it expanded, inflated, called quantum fluctuations, and that's pretty much how it started. And what caused the Big Bang was a special energy. Um, Basically, space and time, it fused itself with this special energy come out. Um, a point that wasn't mentioned was, and once again, I guess probably because of, you can't cover everything in a short movie like this. But um, the universe didn't always exist. God's eternal. The universe would be eternal, but the universe came to exist. And that was a big point that wasn't made in the movie. But then again, it's basically the premise of the movie was showing that God is not dead. So if it was reversed, you could prove that there's no reason to believe in God. But there was sort of a kind of debate with the professor. But he did mention that Stephen Hawking quote, but he didn't mention that the universe wasn't eternal. He should have mentioned that. And then, of course, they go by with the moral standards, and the professor didn't say anything of that. He could have told the kid, well, the Bible encourages rape, slavery, murder. How's that moral, God? Um, and he didn't mention anything of that. Some other things probably wasn't mentioned. That we found planet Kepler 184, I think it is. It's a little bigger than Earth, but it's totally habitable, and it has a rocky terrain as well as water. Technically, it looks like Earth, um, and that's just further proof of a no God, because people thought Earth is the only habitable planet, but we just found out, and this is one of the planets out of thousands out there. Um, we just found out, that there's another one that's habitable, totally habitable like Earth. The gravity's a little higher. You know, like I said, the God gap is going to get smaller and smaller until it totally disappears. Science is always expanding, learning, evolving. Faith is not. Um, there was a debate with P.Z. Myers debating the person of the Quran, and the person with the Quran says, well, how did this person know, like, the way the body is like this? Like, see, these religious books had some good, educated guesses, But when you have to be a scientist, you really have to be precise, not only to find the truth, but to falsify the truth, you know. So not only to tell there's a God, but to falsify if there's a God. You know what I mean? So that's why we rely on science, because it's based on real world evidence, whereas religion is just faith. It's not real world. It's educated guess that people thought, and not only mention that Genesis creation. There's a bunch of different creations that actually start similar, like in the beginning. Um, so that wasn't mentioned either. But like I said, you couldn't mention all this probably. And obviously, if you did mention all this, it would have just destroyed the movie. It would have proved that God is dead, or unnecessary. There was a good analogy that you can't prove there's a God and you can't disprove there's a God. That's true, but eventually that will go away. We actually found out what caused the Big Bang. It's in one of my earlier videos. I explained it. So yeah, and that just shows the universe is not fine-tuned. As Victor's finger points out, there's chaos in space, meteors, comets crashing. It's just totally chaos. If you're in space, you can get annihilated. With meteors and asteroids, it's just everything popping in and out of existence. Nothing it's an order. And not only that, back then in the pre-existing cosmos, totally different gases, totally different molecules. Um, See, the people don't. I mean, of course, people could say, God did it, God did, God did. But if you really use your brain and really expand and see how all this works out through billions of years, and you really study and learn, you will find out no God needed. How we developed, how another civilization developed through the natural means of the universe's natural laws, that just limits God right there. Things can come naturally by themselves. Abogenesis, exogenesis. And obviously that wasn't mentioned in there too, because that would have destroyed the movie. But to prove that God is dead, or there's no God, I believe. So what else? Yeah, the last part of the argument was terrible. Science proves the existence of God, but the truth. That I don't know where he got that from. That doesn't make any sense, and that's never been said. That's ridiculous. And um, and not all people hate God. It's kind of the opposite. The people actually that lose people from death actually praise God more than hate God. So that was kind of strange. The professor lost a mom, and the kid asked in the class, "Why do you hate God?" And he said, "Because his mom took it away." It was actually the opposite. Basically, atheists don't hate God. It's just you can ask Dawkins, you can ask all the famous atheists. There's no hate for God. It's just no evidence to believe in there is a God. Obviously, there's. I mean, people's been asking when is Jesus returning, and it's just that they're giving up. They said this God is foul. Let all the people die, destruction of the world. But in actuality, there really is no God. I mean, because it's just the natural causes of the universe, where plate tectonics, volcanoes, meteors. It's just all through billions of years, the natural causes of the universe till now. I mean, tornadoes, earthquakes is not Lucifer. It's just natural means. People always believed in gods, where rain and sun and all this stuff. We know why the tides go in and out. We know why the sky's blue. We know why grass is green. People just have to look all this up, and you will find the answers. We know how the water can rise from the ground, from the roots. We know photosynthesis, chlorophyll. You just have to look all this stuff up. It's and you will find that truth is stranger than fiction, and it all boils down to amazing science. Um, so the ending, I guess, was the worst. I mean, the movie was good. You know, having that kind of the debate, or well, semi-debate. It was actually him explaining why God is not dead. He has some good points, but the